Alright, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite theories in Elden Ring, is that Radahn is the red-haired champion mentioned in the Shard of Alexander. So basically, after Alexander has reached Fair Missoula, he'll no longer drop the generic warrior jar shard when killed, either through a duel or unprovoked. By this point, he had been on a long journey, taking part in Radahn's defeat and having harvested a bit of the legendary general's remains. He will now drop the much better Shard of Alexander, which, apart from visually containing a shard of Radahn's armor, and likely a chunk of the great general himself, along with the accompanying text that states that they could be the remains of a red-haired champion. At the crumbling sky city of Fair Missoula, the warrior jar Alexander challenges you to a duel. Despite fighting bravely, he is defeated and his remains are brought to the fledgling warrior jar that survived the massacre of Jarburg, and thus both Radahn and Alexander's story would continue within the young warrior jar, who would no doubt go on to become a legend on his own. Well, that's all well and good and everything, but what evidence backs that up? Like, what's there to support that? And we're going to go over that in this video. The first piece of evidence, and possibly I think is the best, is that the Shard of Alexander, there's visibly a shard of what appears to be Radahn's armor, and on Radahn's armor that we were able to buy from Enya, it appears he's missing a chunk that's about the exact same shape and size as the one we see on the Shard of Alexander. Now, this is relatively subtle, but I'm pretty sure it's intentional, and definitely a good piece of evidence that supports the theory. There's also the fact that Radahn is frequently referred to as being proud of his red hair, despite Radahn despising it, which he himself saw as some kind of a curse from the fell god of the giants. Curiously though, instead of being fond of Radahn, Radahn appeared to be a fanboy of Godfrey, which would reflect in his lion motif, even viewing himself as Godfrey's successor as the Lord of the Battlefield, which makes the fact that he got defeated by Godfrey's actual son, the Fell Omen, all the more devastating. Well, I suppose he wouldn't have known that Margit was Godfrey's son, but still, definitely interesting to me. Some have alleged that the red-haired champion mentioned in the description could possibly refer to the fire giant that both Alexander and the main character are able to defeat before entering Fair Missoula. And the giant himself could be considered a champion of the fell god. It's definitely a possibility, although there isn't much other evidence besides the fact that we know Alexander fought him, but we never saw Alexander harvesting or anywhere in the actual mountaintops of giants. We only see him as a spirit. So it could be safely assumed that he did possibly harvest some of the fire giant, but we don't literally see him harvesting like we do at Radahn's battlefield, where he's clearly harvesting the remains of plenty of warriors, or according to him, many great warriors that fought in the Shattering. And who fought in the Shattering? Well, definitely Radahn. As we see in the opening credits, he got stomped out by Margit the Fell Omen when he tried to roll up on the capital. Or more famously, he fought his half-sister, Melania, who was forced to go nuclear in her fight with him, causing the poor bastard to go insane, and his whole domain of the Caelid Wilds to basically turn into Chernobyl. Again, Radahn got dealt a pretty fucked hand. Radahn probably despised Radahn because of his red hair and what it meant to him, which could be why Radahn chose to idolize Godfrey so much, because his own father didn't really give him the time of day. Who knows, really? That's very George R.R. Martin-esque. What with the lions and the daddy issues and all that, but it's not really confirmed or not confirmed. But I suppose this theory could be the best ending Radahn could have hoped for. Instead of just having been killed a mad dog, at least a part of his powerful essence lives on in a young warrior jar, alongside the likes of people like Dialos and, of course, Alexander. There's always the possibility that it's just some nameless red-haired hero, as we know that red hair was supposedly a sign of heroic folks. But that's a lot more boring than the other possibilities, in my opinion. But I suppose it should be stated. So this video is a little bit shorter than the ones I usually do, but it was a fun theory that I really wanted to cover, and there really wasn't much more for me to expand on it. But if there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comments. I hope you guys found it informative. Please like and subscribe if you did. If you didn't, please let me know what I'm doing wrong. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. See ya.